Yep, I got a point this time. I just towed it up. It was right there and I towed that right up. Look at that. As you move over this geographic area, it really doesn't jump out at you. There are no dramatic land features or bodies of water, just hills and drainages, high and lower points, with a continual juniper pine forest typical of a higher desert environment. However, history runs deep here, not simply geologic history, but human history. I've been exploring this area intermittently for well over a year now. My discoveries have indicated that people have been hunting, camping this area from the present all the way back to the Paleo period. That's well over 10,000 years, and it probably goes back much further than that. While I'm out wandering these high desert forests, it's easy to get lost in thought, contemplating lives that have long since vanished, finding piles of flaked rock, tools, and projectile points, proof of that ancient human existence. At some point in the near future, this area may become the next housing development, another extension of suburbia, the forest gone, the land paved over, the history erased before it was even considered. So each time I get to walk out here and experience the past, I am grateful, very much so. And I hope the inevitability of progress is held off for a little longer. Hello, D-Rock here. Please join me as I head out into the desert to discover what once was. Buenos dias. Okay, well, we're back down in the high desert forest. We've come down from higher elevations. We got lucky with weather this week, so monsoons out here have basically started. And it's cool temperatures, and I think today actually is supposed to rain, so we've already got buildup up here, so it may cut the storms build really quick, fast in the desert, so we may have to get out of here just because we've come back deep, traveling dirt roads, and if a storm catches us, it can make those dirt roads impassable, so if the storm gets on top of us, we probably have to get out of here. Anyway, that being said, we've got cooler temps now. So it's not triple digits, we're about 6,000 feet or so, tolerable. So we're out in the high desert forest. This is an area where it was and still is fertile hunting grounds. So we're making our way, searching for possible projectile points on the surface. And I want to reiterate that and be clear about this, that we're just looking for things that we see on the surface. We don't dig or anything like that. We don't keep anything. We're just documenting what we come across. And if anything, I just add GPS point to the artifact. But other than that, it stays out here. And I have been in this area prior, not to where we're walking today, but I have found some pretty old things out here. And by old, I mean maybe Pinto Basin points or Humboldt points. These can date back to late middle Archaic period. And at the same time, there may be artifacts out here that just go back a few hundred years ago. So this area would have been hunted for thousands of years. It's a fascinating spot. So that's what we're up to today. And as we walk, we're finding quite a bit of debitage. Here's flaked obsidian, just above that, of course, flaked obsidian. So I feel like we have possibly a pretty good opportunity to come across something today. That's the story. So join us. Oh man, this is, I thought this might be a broken artifact, but maybe it's just a castaway. I don't know, it could be a broken artifact. It's mainly what I come across. Oh, here's a good one right there. Yeah. That's generally what I find a lot of the times. They're simply fractured artifacts. Pretty rarely do I come across anything intact. And today, hopefully we find like the base of an artifact that gives us a better chance of identifying it, even though I'm not very good at identifying. But that gives us a better than just like the tip of one. So here, for example, you see some obsidian flaking here and here. And you can tell, well, maybe the camera's not picking up as great, but this is where water's run down and has uncovered these things. So that's how we can come across things on the surface out here. is because, as I say in most of the videos, as you notice, it's not completely covered in vegetation, the desert that is, and it's always in a state of flux. The landscape is always changing out here, so that's how you can find things. Well, I got a different material here, so here's some flake chert. So definitely am in what was once a volcanic area, hence the abundance of obsidian, and that is generally what I find out here as far as projectile points. It's obsidian. But I do come across a lot of that, what I just showed, the flaked white chert, but I rarely ever come across an intact white chert artifact. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Jen's with me today.
Hello.
Yeah. And so that's our plan. We're gonna move through the forest and see if we can come across something interesting as usual. Kind of enjoy the cooler temps for a minute. So Jen just hollered that she's found a worked piece, so got a drainage right here. Maybe that exposed it. Is it in the drainage? It is? Let's go have a look. Yeah, there's all kinds of obsidian flaking in this drainage. Where's it at?
Right there.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a worked piece. All right, this might be an artifact, a broken one like I was mentioning earlier. We're gonna have a look. Oh yeah, how much that's been worked. Well, I was hoping it'd be a biface, but it's not worked on this side. Maybe it's just a flake then. Still, you can see where it has been worked, where it's been napped. Those strikes there. Yeah, well, it's a start, isn't it? So Jen's coming up the main drainage. Here's a little small drainage here where the water's come down, but you can see how it's exposing the obsidian jutting out here and here and there. That's all from tool processing. So the land is essentially excavating itself. Pretty interesting. Wow, there is an abundance of obsidian flake in here. Got, yeah, quite a bit. I think there was probably pretty large scale tool production going on in this spot. I mean, it's ground's pretty much covered. Either that or continual production over years and years and years, you know. So, but there's lots of it. Ooh, man, we may have a point right here. Look at that. Let's get closer to it. Well, it sure looks like a point, doesn't it? Oh, what do we got? No. Oh, man. It might have been on its way to being a point, but there's nothing on the opposite side. Does that even really matter, though? I don't know, man. That's sure looked like it was going to happen. Yep, I got a point this time. I just towed it up. It was right there, and I towed that right up. Look at that. Oh, man. Okay, look at this one. This is definitely a biface. You can see how it's been worked on that side there. And maybe not a projectile point, maybe a knife. Well, let's just say a knife or a projectile point, but it may not have been finished, or it may have broke, or who knows. Choose your variable. However, this is definitely a point, no doubt about that. And it's biface, meaning it's been worked on both sides. Fortunately, I can't identify it more than what I'm already saying because there's no base to get an eye of. It's pretty thick. I don't know. Yeah, but that's definitely encouraging. So I just towed that out of the sand. That's pretty cool. So, okay. We're on to something today. What do you got?
It looks like it's just missing the bottom.
You got an artifact?
Yeah.
Ooh, exciting. Just on the surface there?
Right there.
Oh, you sure do. That's a good one. And Jen just found a nice piece. All right, Jen just spied this piece pretty much after I just found that point. Oh, let's have a look at that. Oh yeah, high feast. Sorry, we got a panting dog right here. Ooh, yeah, that one's had some detail to it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So that is just most definitely a biface, and maybe the tip and base are missing, or I don't know. You can see the ground, of course, is pretty rocky. So that wasn't buried. Like I mentioned earlier, we are limited to what we can come across on the surface, but that's pretty cool, Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, I don't know what it is. We know it's probably maybe a projectile point, could be a small knife. Yeah, I can't say for certain. We don't have a base like with notches or anything to get an idea of, but like I said, I'm not a professional at this, but we are definitely coming across some interesting pieces. So that's 2 artifacts today. Good eye. So we'll just put that where we found it and mark it with the GPS point. Very nice, Jen. So we're looking at this piece that Jen just found a little more intensely, and right where my thumb is, that's where the tip was. Maybe I should turn that around. And that looks like it might have fractured off, and then it looks like it's been shaped down at the bottom. This might be a Humboldt point. You can see how it's been shaped like that. If it is indeed, that's what is that, late to middle Archaic? And I'm not sure if Humboldt might have been an atlatl dart. So that's the way it may have been going, but the tip is definitely broken off. So that's just speculation, of course. Don't know for certain, but yeah, very interesting piece, Jen. Did you just find that?
Yeah.
You just found that next to that one.
Yeah.
That's that looks like that's a fractured artifact there. Whoa. So this is just the remnants. This is what we usually find for the most part, and that's what Jen just found, and she just found that right next to it. Wow. Oh, we're just going to leave these here, mark them with the GPS point. All right, well, we found 3 artifacts pretty much in the same general area. That's pretty cool. I don't know if we're going to make it to our destination today. What is that? Ooh, wow, look at that piece. All right, well, we've got another very distinct piece here. Not certain what this may have been. Possibly a scraper. Not much on this side. Maybe it was a castaway. But some attention was spent on this side for sure. Sorry, a little natty out here. All right, we got something right here. We're coming across a lot of pieces like this, broken. Yeah, some attention's been paid to that one. Oh, yeah. Huh, well, let's have a look at that. Another broken piece, maybe a scraper. It's got a nice, pretty good edge to it. So, yeah, we're coming across lots of pieces like this. So we're in a particular spot where the ground, the camera's not going to do it justice, but the ground is covered. I mean, covered in obsidian flakes. So we're under the impression this was a camp. I sometimes call them workshops. I mean, they just sat here and they made tools, but we're just wondering if there were a concentration of people working here, camping here, making tools. I mean, if it was in recent, in the last few thousand years, there would possibly be pottery. But if we're finding points out here, like say the Humboldt, which dates back to, I believe, the late to mid Archaic, then this could be residuals from those points also, which there wouldn't be pottery because that's too far back. Pottery wasn't, at least it's been said, pottery didn't come into the Southwest till say 4,000 years ago. So it's hard to really determine. I mean, you only can go by what you see on the surface. And once again, we're not professionals. We're just kind of tossing ideas back and forth at each other. So yeah, that's the way it is right now. So this is one of my favorite things to find. It's like all around here there's nothing, then you see there's just a concentration of lithics right here. So someone sat right here, worked on a tool, and that's their pile, and it's just isolated. And I don't know, I just find that absolutely fascinating. Well, we've lost our cloud cover and it's heating up pretty good, so we're going to start cutting back in another direction and start walking to where the truck is, and hopefully we'll come across something. At least we got a breeze though. But yeah, temperature's rising really quick, so that's our time to get a move on. All right, we've been walking for a good 45 minutes. We actually, I think we went back a few miles, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's a bit of, I wasn't aware of that. But we didn't make it to our destination, which was exceedingly farther than I thought, and our cloud cover has left us, which means the temperature has gone up. So we're on our way back to the truck. It's a good time to call it a day, wouldn't you say, Jen?
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Hot.
gotten warm, let me tell you. So that's our strategy at this point, getting back. But regardless, it was a successful day. We found a handful of artifacts and lots of evidence of possible camps. I don't know. It was really interesting. Fascinating area for sure, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely have to return when it cools. So I think we'll be heading back up to higher elevations after this. This was a brief reprieve from the heat with the weather. So that's our story anyway. As always, thank you very much for watching. I do have lots more content on the way, so stick with us, and thank you again. We'll see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.